Welcome to the Pixelberry Choices podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Wake the Dead chapter 15. So, this was an interesting chapter, depending on what happened on the last chapter. It was really one of the most anticipated chapters because we saw a new kind of zombie in the last chapter. And to be honest, this chapter felt like it was a bit short compared to all the other chapters of Wake the Dead. Not like short, but still compared to the other chapters, it was a bit short. But then also what happens? So we follow May, and we see also other members of our colony are also they're in a trance as if they're getting drawn to something, and they're not in themselves, so to speak. So we see there's a new kind of zombie, and there's a peaceful humming coming out of their mind. Like it's it's something like they're sort of captivating our mind. There's a smell, and it feels comforting. And we see that May is going toward them, try to stop them. There's another zombie, and then our vision goes blur, and we feel something really peaceful in that, and a connection. We feel something lost, but something really close. And then we are given some options after we hear a faint voice as if someone's calling our name. So that was Ellie. So I chose all the options so that I can break the trains. So if you chose those right options, you will break the trains, you'll break that mind connection, and you will slay the zombie, but then you'll collapse. And then when you will open your eyes, there will be Ellie, and you'll hear the news May and all the others were gone. And Ellie didn't chase after them because he was alone, and we didn't know what we were dealing with yet. But before he collapsed, we saw something familiar. So definitely someone we know, someone really close to us, but we didn't see them completely. But their presence, we felt that. But they were really close. They're really our, but at the same time, not so close and not so connected to us. So that was the description, sort of. And then we say that Ellie did the right thing. I personally chose that option. You could also say that Ellie should have gone after them. But Ellie starts blaming himself, and then we need to console him that it's alright, it would have been foolish. But then we see all of our love interests coming to us, and they are also worried about us, but this is a big loss for our colony. A lot of people are gone. But depending on your score, your fortification, you will see that the loss was not that big. So you're going to lose more people if your fortification is not good. And then you will still have a chance between fortification, I think fighter and food. I think no, not food, if I'm not wrong. So I chose the fortification one. I think it was between fortification and food. My memory is kind of foggy here because I read a lot of books like yesterday, that and Crimes of Passion. But we have this free option, and this is toward the end side of the map. And there's one more slot left as far as I remember, so that one we need to fill up soon. And then what happens is we need to gather everyone, all the elders, and we need to give them this news. Before that, we can do some research if you choose this dimension with Shannon. Shannon will go to her study room. You can go with her, and so you killed the zombie, and now you're going to dissect it and see. So you will also see a side of Shannon. Not too much romance or flirt options you have here, so right up business. But you will see that Shannon has managed the place really well, and then you will learn more details. So first thing you will see that there is some kind of secretion. So this is new zombie. We are going to call it a Siren. That's what they call, like in the books, I guess. So, and this secretes something from some gland, I think, inside there. So that was sort of peaceful humming sound we got. So we need to explain this to Shannon also, and we can cut open its gut, and then we'll find a knife. So probably it swallowed someone who has that, who had that in them. So that's pretty interesting. So they swallow, and their mouth sort of sort of, the if you bisect it sort of weirdly it opens up. It's just the section is really weird. I've never seen something. I don't know how they made this idea and did all those things. It's definitely one of the amazing books and choices in recent times. The planning just amazing, mind blowing. Then, after learning all the information and acquiring that, we get to business. Now we need to call a meeting of all of our friends, and Dirk is being a pain in the neck. But this time we try to tell him that we need to go after May and all the people who are lost. And we have made this hypothesis more like Shannon has made it. And this is that we tell this to Walt and everyone that the zombies, they sort of mutate. So it's like a beehive. There's a zombie hive. And if we follow the footsteps, we can go to the zombie hive. And this people who are being taken away, they're not dead yet. That's our hypothesis. That they, even if there's a 1% chance, we're going to take it. And we think they're alive because these zombies could have killed them there, but they didn't kill them because they took them to their hive so that they can kill them later. It's sort of like all the metamorphosis or whatever process. So there's something going on in that beehive. So something big. Definitely, that's our theory. Shannon's theory. Shannon will feel confidence saying this to everyone, telling this to everyone, and then we see Dirk is again opposing us and all this stuff. But what happens? We put it up for a vote that who will go rescue them. Everyone says logically that it's not worth going for them, so we feel betrayed. But a vote isn't going to keep us from anything. So we just plan to sneak out one night. But then we see some guards are approaching us, but they weren't guard. Ellie and all of our love interests. We can tell them to go away, but they will say they're going to risk their lives, and there will be some banter with Troy. But also, we will see Sledge coming up. Sledge also denied the fact that we should go rescue those people. Then we will talk with Sledge in silence, in the corner, away from all of our other love interests earshot. So Sledge will tell us that why are going to rescue them. So there is a difference in opinion with Sledge and our main character, but Sledge will stay guard and will close the gate and will not tell anybody. But Sledge wanted to warn us one last time that we don't go there. But we will also rescue. We can add this to Westland armor set. We will get a new armor. So at first you had the silver plate like thing, then the vest, and this time there's a new, it's like a fighter one. So this gives a really cool vibe. I'm glad we got that. And then we will leave with our love interest. And then before we leave also, Sledge will sort of tell, so Shannon and Sledge, they'll be brainstorming more like, when Sledge and their raiders, they captured that soldier zombie. So they mentioned the name of a city. So from that, Shannon will get the idea of where to go in order to find the zombie hive. So Shannon will go and hug, Sledge, and clearly hugging and all this friendly stuff there, a foreign concept to Sledge. So that was a interesting thing. But now we are going to this new city to find the zombie hive. And after that, we just go and we see this big city, and anything could be there. And the buildings, it has a lot of space there. And we see first some postcards and all the stuff there inside an alley. And there's a diamond scene to read all those letters. So it's like a lore you can collect, and you can read all this stuff and you can learn about the post world. So I think the lores are pretty big. Like, it took some time to read them. So there was a letter from a father to his daughter who was suffering through some disease, and all these things were written just before the outbreak started. In the the zombie apocalyptic world. And we also see a diary. Someone's writing a diary about their college or school crush, and there's also a groceries list. So it's fun, refreshing. So we're feeling a little down, but now we feel good. And then we continue searching through the city, and finally we find the beehive. Something, it's like, someone has made a hole to the streets, and it's like, it's just like a beehive, the zombie hive. So it's everything that Shannon described, but what dangers could await us inside? What we're gonna find out, that's in the next chapter. So, to recap things, we start off with this new zombie species we find, we kill them, and we're still in the Slayer rank. I personally chose to build the fortification thingy. I can't exactly remember that, pardon me. And then we have the vote. Dirk won this. Everybody said we're not gonna go, but we sneak away from the place, accompanied by our love interest, and we go to the city and finally find the zombie hive. Before that, we also in a dimension took all the lores, the final lore, I think. I don't think there's another lore after this. And we learned about the post-apocalyptic world, and we have found the zombie hive. What will happen next? What awaits us here? So all those things and more in the next chapter. And the next chapter is going to be longer than this chapter was. Let me know in the comments your thoughts and opinions. I absolutely loved yesterday reading all these things. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, peace out.